Why a roasted carrot finally tastes like a revelation. I want to tell you about a moment that still makes me smile. About 2 weeks into my journey of stepping away from processed sugars, I was eating a roasted carrot. Just a roasted carrot, nothing fancy. And it tasted like caramel. A fresh raspberry, almost overwhelmingly sweet. I stopped mid bite and thought, was food always this good? Yes, it was. I just couldn't taste it. So, today I want to talk about what's actually going on inside your body when you step away from ultra processed substances and start eating real food. Because what I found out is genuinely fascinating and a little bit ironic. Your taste buds. So, here's what I didn't know back then. Your tongue has thousands of taste buds, and inside each one are specialized cells whose whole job is to detect sweetness and report it to your brain. When you're eating ultra processed substances regularly, the stuff I call not food, those cells get absolutely bombarded with a level of sweetness that does not exist anywhere in nature. Engineered, designed in a lab to be as intense as possible. And your taste cells do something really smart. They turn down the volume. They literally pull receptors off their surface and dampen the signals they're sending. It's like your body saying, okay, if this is the new normal, I need to protect myself. But here's the problem. Once your system has adjusted to that engineered intensity, a fresh raspberry doesn't stand a chance. It's not that there's anything wrong with the raspberry. It's that your hardware has become recalibrated for something that doesn't exist in the real world. The 2-week reset. Now here's where it gets really good. Your taste receptor cells have a built-in expiration date. They're always dying and being replaced by brand new cells. And the whole cycle? About 10 to 14 days. So around day 10 to 14, after you stop the bombardment, you've grown a whole new generation of taste cells, cells that have never been exposed to engineered sweetness. They come in fresh, at full sensitivity. And suddenly, that roasted carrot with its natural sugars caramelized by the oven tastes genuinely, startlingly delicious. You didn't develop better willpower. You didn't learn to settle for less. You grew new taste buds. The irony, chasing the high. Okay, now here's where it gets a little uncomfortable, and honestly, even more important. Most of what we know about this whole process, the receptors turning down the volume, the dopamine piece I'm about to tell you about, we first learned it from addiction research. The same mechanism that explains why someone dependent on a substance needs more and more to feel the same effect. That's exactly what's happening with processed sugar. Your brain responds to chronic exposure by adjusting its reward wiring. It turns up the signals that say more and turns down the ones that say enough. So your system needs ever increasing intensity just to feel satisfied. In the research, they call this chasing the high. First time, big response. But the brain adapts. Next time, you need a little more and more until the thing that once felt amazing barely registers, and you need it to just feel normal. Now swap substance for processed sugar. Same pattern, same biology. In controlled research, people ate about 500 more calories a day on an ultra-processed diet versus a whole food diet. Even when both diets had the same calories, sugar, fat, and fiber, their brains just could not regulate properly. Why I say food dysfunction. Now, I want to be really clear. I don't use the word addiction in my work, and there's an important reason. Most of the people I work with, and probably most of you watching this, don't see yourselves as addicts. If I led with that word, you'd stop watching. You'd picture the stereotype and think, that's not me. And in a lot of ways, you'll be right. What we experience is more complex than one word can hold. Food dysfunction lives at the intersection of your nervous system, your reward chemistry, your gut, your early life experiences, your attachment patterns, and the engineered substances our culture insists on calling food. But the irony I can't get over, the exact same science that explains why an addict chases the high is the science that explains why your carrot tastes like cardboard. You don't need the label, but you deserve the understanding, because knowing this is not your fault, that's where everything starts to shift. Your gut is in on it too. And if that's not enough, your gut is playing the same game. Your gut has sensors that detect sugar completely independently of your tongue. They send signals up the vagus nerve straight to your brain, triggering dopamine and cravings you can't even consciously feel. So if there's a sugar hiding in something savory, pizza, salad dressing, your gut notices and drives you to want more, without you ever understanding why. The chasing the high pattern isn't just on your tongue. It's in your gut, your brain, and through pathways you have zero awareness of. And every single one of these systems can recalibrate when you give them the chance. Vacations and slips. So a lot of you are wondering, how fast does this go in the other direction? If it takes 10 to 14 days to grow fresh cells, how fast do they get knocked down? Faster than you think. And I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you so you can be compassionate with yourself. The damage is faster than the repair. Receptor desensitization can start within hours, not days, hours. Your cells start pulling receptors off their surface almost immediately when they get flooded. So think about a vacation. Day 1 feels satisfying. Day 2, you need a little more. Day 3, real food seems boring. Sound familiar? That's the biology shifting. Your reward system recalibrates fast and in the wrong direction. A weekend slip, bounce back in a few days. A week of ultra-processed eating? Food tastes flatter by day 3 to 5. Recovery takes 5 to 7 days. Several weeks back on heavy sugar? Full 10 to 14 day taste bud reset, and your dopamine system may need 60 to 90 days. This is why a vacation slip extends itself. This is why just one bite becomes a week. Not weakness. Biology. The reframe. So here's what I want you to sit with. When you step away from ultra-processed substances and real food tastes like nothing, that's not evidence that healthy eating is joyless. That's evidence your receptors are still calibrated for something from a laboratory. Your biology isn't broken, it's been hijacked. Vacation slip you can't recover from? Not moral failure. Your hardware literally changed in under a week. Can't moderate? Not weakness. Same tolerance pattern documented for decades. You don't have to call it addiction, but you deserve to know the biology is real and it's reversible. Your body wants to come back to baseline. The taste bud cycle is built in. You don't need willpower forever. You just need to get through that initial window. And your body literally rebuilds the hardware that lets real food taste extraordinary again. That roasted carrot, that wasn't willpower. That was my body's intelligence restored. Yours will do the same thing because it's always designed to. Full blog post with all the research is linked below. And if this kind of understanding speaks to you, the why behind what your body does, that's exactly what my book, Thinking Outside the Box, is about. It works alongside whatever food plan you already follow. Link below. Thank you for being here.